People engage, it's time for Dueling Decades. The Matrix and Blade versus Bloodsport and Renegade. Strap on that cap, bust out the power glove. Come fight for what you love.
Dueling Decades.
Poop culture, popping pins, dropping hand grenades. Van Halen locked in Mortal Kombat with David Gray. Banner Ballet and Sick, Iron Maiden, GNR. Come fight for what you love.
Dueling Decades.
You got the lead. We're going into the final round. That's music.
Final round.
If this is the American
I
Ninja
know he has
soundtrack, I'm done.
He got something packed in his pocket. That's why he did this. All right. So 1985. It's such an awesome year, man. And thank you for turning it over to my custody because I wouldn't have found this. Actually, I knew this existed. It's another movie from my childhood. It springs up in an action movie genre, but this time it springs up in the music section. And at first I had zero idea what to research and I didn't know what would pull up, what the subgenre of music was going to be like. I was like, this is going to be fucking hard. I'm going to get some stupid song, like whatever. But my first pick, we get the second movie I ever saw in a movie theater. Sometime around March 22nd, 1985, when this movie was released, my grandmother and my older sister took me to the movies to see Berry Gordy's The Last Dragon. How could I possibly lose this round? Let me go on right here. Not only is this an action martial arts flick, but it's got the owner of motherfucking Motown Records behind it. His name is in the goddamn title of the movie. It's amazing. It's a fucking amazing pick. Anyhow, the soundtrack to this movie was released April 1st, 1985, and it featured El DeBarge's hit song, "It'll Be the Rhythm of the Night." Everybody knows it. And that would be Rhythm of the Night. It topped out at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. And then, of course, you had other tracks, and it's all going to be from Motown people because it's Berry Gordy. You had actually there was one more single that came out on that from Vanity, Seventh Heaven. That was the second single. But then you had the Temptations were on this. You had Rockwell, Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder, of course, El DeBarge. Great friggin' album. Great movie. Second movie I ever saw in the movie theater. And it's got Berry Gordy's name in the fucking movie title. I mean, yeah. But here, let me tie it all together with Mark's last couple rounds here. So my second pick, this is actually the second time that this made it onto a Dueling Decades episode. And maybe it was one that Joe was on. I don't remember, but it was episode 139. We covered May 1985. Okay. And this soundtrack came up. Not too sure if we won that round, but I sure as hell remember singing the chorus to the only James Bond song to ever hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. And that song is none other than Duran Duran's A View to a Kill. Yeah. Dance into the fire. The fatal kiss is all we need. Fucking great. I was talking about my voice too, not the song. The song is great too. But actually, really cool story about this. As the legend goes, Duran Duran was picked to do the song because John Taylor from Duran Duran actually went up to Cubby Broccoli at a party. And of course, Cubby Broccoli is the producer of all the Bond films. And he said to him, "When are you going to get someone decent to do one of your theme songs?" Next thing you know, boom.
That's ballsy, seeing as Paul McCartney had done what?
Yeah, no shit.
Did it hit number 1 on the Hot 100?
It didn't. Not even Adele's Skyfall did.
No, that's the fucking crazy part of it. But yeah, number 1 on the Hot 100. So
wow. All right. What on earth comes from the 1995 era?
Backstreet.
All right. All right, so for the first music entry from 1995, we're going to go with the soundtrack from the movie Mortal Kombat. So with Mortal Kombat, the original motion picture soundtrack, this soundtrack was nominated for the Motion Picture Sound Editors USA Golden Reel Award. It won the BMI Film and TV Awards, BMI Film Music Award. The soundtrack went platinum in less than a year and reached number 10 on the Billboard Hot 200 and was included in 2011 in the Guinness World Records Gamers Edition as the most successful video game spin-off soundtrack album. Its sales and popularity followed up immediately with another album, Mortal Kombat, More Combat. Really, this album had a really great collection of hardcore techno and metal mix, which was really just a music genre that was budding at the time. But we still had staples from the past, such as George Clinton on there. And you got Fear Factory, Typo Negative, KMFDM, Tracy Lords also had a song on there, Uriah Saints, and another George Clinton song on there featuring Buckethead, Napalm Death. Just really a solid rockin' album for, a martial arts action film. I don't think you can get much more action-y than that.
The only thing I remember from that is Mortal Kombat.
And that's why everybody went out and bought that album, just so they could play that in their room or car or whatever.
I don't not have the song on my Spotify.
All right. My second music pick is a soundtrack that I'm sure a lot of us had. That is Batman Forever, the music from the motion picture, released May 23rd, 1995. Only 5 of the songs are actually featured in the movie, though. The hit singles from the soundtrack include Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me by U2 and Kiss from a Rose by Seal. Both were nominated for the MTV Movie Awards, and Kiss from a Rose also reached #1 on the U.S. charts and won 3 Grammy Awards for Best Male Pop Vocal Performance. The soundtrack features songs by the Flaming Lips, Brandy, Offspring, Method Man, Michael Hutchence of INXS, and PJ Harvey. The soundtrack was the brainchild of producer Peter McGregor's attempt to make the film's soundtrack feel more pop than previous Batman soundtracks. It was a huge success, selling almost as many copies as Prince's previous soundtrack from the '89 Batman film. So we all know the success of Seal and Kiss from a Rose. So Batman Forever, the music from the motion picture, released May 23rd, 1995.
But did either one of your movies have Berry Gordy's name in front of it? That shit just threw a car alarm off.
Somebody got the glow and punched their car over. That was just the sound of my dog getting attacked by my cat. It's wonderful things are going on over here.
Mortal Kombat!
I am not doing this for the drama. I have not picked a winner yet. This is as tough a round as you possibly could have given me for the last round, especially since it's going to decide a winner. Wow. Let's start on the 80s. The Last Dragon is everything to me. That movie, I've seen that movie hundreds of times. I did a commentary episode for it. Every time I even think of the movie, I go, when you got the glow, flow, a young Ernie Reyes Jr. is in this movie. I remember all the bits, notwithstanding the fact that Vanity and I were born in the same hospital in Niagara Falls, Ontario.
Wow.
That doesn't that I didn't know till later, so that didn't play into how much I loved the movie. But that was
more impressive, the fact that actually happened, or the fact that you know that.
When I was doing the research for my show, I found out she was born in Niagara Falls and there's only one hospital. So so we narrowed it down.
Where did she die?
I don't remember.
The
I didn't
bottom
even
of
know
Niagara
Farms.
I didn't even know she died till last year.
Yeah.
I don't know how it flew under. I never saw it.
All right, you ready? You guys ready for me to blow your mind for the second time this episode?
Prepare.
Last Dragon. Seen it exactly one time, and I remember nothing from the movie, much like Commando.
Okay. You guys need to have a long discussion about. I think both of those movies. I will come back and just chastise you for not having seen the movie a billion times.
That's like a low blow. That's like if in a boxing match where you get the he already got the warning last round. I think that's a point deduction for the second.
No,
How is that a point deduction for self-deprecation?
I'm not. Yeah,
I'm saying it's my fault. I haven't fucking seen these
Yeah.
movies.
yeah,
I'm not lessening the quality of the films.
No.
I'm lessening the quality of myself. Really.
No, I feel where you're coming from, and I am, and the most judging I'm doing right now is judging you.
Rightfully so.
But the oh wow, the Berry Gordy of it all, the Motown of it all, it was a crazy soundtrack for the time. I mean, like they had to have somebody who was playing a VJ on the thing just so you could cram in as much music as humanly possible into it. And then to go from there, we've talked about one of my favorite Bonds, and then to go to arguably the worst Bond of all time with the biggest song. Oh my God, that's so hard. And now you're gonna go again. You're going.
Whoa, you're saying Roger Moore is the worst Bond of all time?
No, the movie, The View to a Kill, is the worst Bond movie of all time. Okay. No, Roger Moore. I love Roger Moore, but he was like a billion years old when that movie came out. It was just,
he was old.
Lots of decisions, and Grace Jones was in it. I mean, like how many things? Although Dolph Lundgren, you can find him in the background if you're poking around.
Yeah, because he was dating Grace Jones at the time.
I would pay anything to see what that looked like.
Okay.
just two giants going at each other. It would have looked like WrestleMania. But,
I don't know what kind of WrestleMania you're watching, man. But
I don't know. I always have a weird wish list at the end. When the Mega Powers exploded in my mind, it was different. But now let's go over to the 95 side, and that Batman Forever soundtrack was gigantic. It is, I think, still on a list of just like powerful, like powerfully iconic ones, especially between A Kiss from a Rose. I don't even know that a lot of people, that song has transcended being a part of the movie. That people, like a lot of people probably don't even know that that's part of a soundtrack anymore. Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me, of course. And Bono and the Edge also, of course, they wrote GoldenEye's theme as well while we're just on top of all that. But, oh, wow. It's like my head and my heart are pulling me in two totally different directions right now. I need you guys, I need each of you to say something negative about the other guy's picks to try and sway me to you.
I'll say this. My songs, original to what they were on, Kiss from a Rose, re-release from 94.
Ooh. Ouch.
All right. Well, see, my Hut products were actually toys that people wanted. They were actually, they were licensed, they were quality, they weren't the equivalent of knockoffs. So.
Oh. Okay.
Way to bring up a round you won 4 rounds later.
Yeah, but I just want it that bad, I'm gonna kick that solid 1 point. I really earned that one.
If you, like I said, you kicked your own self in the nuts, because if you would have held on to that, and left that for the end, you would have killed me.
I'm trying. I'm
that solid. I was worried about that one.
You had fucking Power Rangers. I had American Ninja.
But those are toys that couldn't even be sold nowadays. You had Ninja Stars and shit.
Yeah. See, I was really worried. I was thinking Star Wars, Rambo, all the merchandising for that, and I'm like,
well, they did have it, but it didn't come out to the year after.
Right. See, I wasn't sure, so I was worried.
All right. I've made my decision. I'm not going to lie to you either way. I was like, if whoever I go with, I'm still going to be mad at myself. I'm going to be, I can't believe you didn't pick the other one. Okay. I think 2 very important things here. One is that I'll say now I'm going with 1985. The number 1 is having a Bond, like knowing so many iconic Bond themes, and that being the only number 1, the only one to come across when there's more famous people out there singing songs, and especially nowadays when it's maybe even a little bit easy, it may have been a little bit easier to market a song, like the fact that even Casino Royales didn't maybe get a higher ranking with Chris Cornell, who did an amazing job on that one. I was astounded when I found out Adele's never went number one. So that is a gigantic thing. And then I think that the fact that the movie itself of Berry Gordy's Last Dragon was brought to you by such an icon in music.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna
Tips
say
the
my
scales. What's that?
I thought you were going to say my grandmother because she did bring me to see.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, you should thank her all over the place because, yeah, I mean, it's that movie is tied in with music. No shame on the other side with the Mortal Kombat soundtrack is an outstanding thing. But again, at the very same, I can only name, it's really kind of like the score, a techno score where like one thing you kind of remember. I can remember the order in which you hear the guy say the names like Kano, Liu Kang. But that's all I have from that. And then the Batman Forever. And I think that little twist of the 94 re-release on top of the fact that so many of the songs weren't actually in the movie are what tipped the scales towards 85. So congratulations for 85, but holy crap, was that close.
I totally missed the fact that you said the 85 got it.
Yeah, I was like, wow. For once, Man Crush doesn't care that he fucking won this one. No reaction. He just missed
Well, you know what?
Finally
Again,
acting like he's been there.
If you switched it, if you took, I don't even know what round I would have slid in there because I don't remember what you had. But if you would have made that a 2-pointer, you would have won.
Yeah. But
I will such a landslide.
Yeah, but I will tell you guys though, I mean, you guys did a fantastic job on some of those rounds, picking some stuff and digging in and finding some things. Obviously, the movies and the music really came forward as just like those were superpower choices coming at each other from both sides.
I knew I didn't stand a chance with movies, so we always usually save movies because that's the strongest round for the end. Yeah. But I knew I had to whip it out early.
Not that it matters because it's still a 2-point round, but for drama's sake, it actually played out really well, I think.
But so good, guys.
Fucking excellent. And I just want to give thanks to Brian Moreno from our group on Facebook. This was actually his idea to do an action movie genre, and it was tough. It was tough finding the stuff, and especially things like movie or TV. Trying to find an action movie on television that was original or whatever is not very easy to do. But,
unless you have the USA Network or the Family.
Yeah. In the 80s, you didn't have, they weren't putting anything out like that.
Right.
You got fucking Hasselhoff.
Oh, all right. Well, congratulations to Rick Man Crush, and thank you to Joe Finley for being the judge for this episode.
My pleasure.
And Man Crush pulling out the very first solo. Man Crush pulling out the very first one-on-one victory we've ever had here on Dueling Decades. Now, if you've missed an episode, you can always subscribe to our shows at duelingdecades.com. You can subscribe on CastBox and also on iTunes. Please leave us a like and a review as well. We greatly appreciate it. Also, go over to our Facebook, facebook.com/Dueling Decades. Join our group, and then you can join the private group. And that's kind of like, peeking behind the beaded curtain.
Yeah, you could say whatever if you want to go in there, if you have ideas for anything, throw it at us. Or occasionally we'll throw something out and just ask, hey, give us some ideas. And if we like it, we'll just run with it like we did today.
Right. So we're going to wrap up this episode here. So until next time, we will bid you a peace, love, light, and a joy. Have a grateful week, everyone.
Dueling Decades.